The creative industries to me is basically artists or people working with, in a creative field for their livings.
To me, they range through quite a lot of different medias. So like we have jewellery makers, dressmakers, a whole stack of designers, there's heaps of artists.
But it's generally anyone in that really creativeness of, are they doing design work, are they doing web work, are they doing some tech work, are they an artist in film?
If the definition is that it's to generate something new and turn it into a useful product, then I'd say the creative industries is pretty well right across all forms of endeavour, including accounting.
My name's Brett Peaver. I'm a graphic designer, web designer and a traditional sign painter for my own creative company. Pocket Design's a creative design agency that focuses on a handmade aesthetic but bringing that into the digital age. Working for an agency I find can be quite repetitive. So working for myself I can do the kind of projects that I really want to do and harness those projects. So as soon as I start getting recognised for a particular piece of work that I've really loved and put a lot of love hours into, more and more of that work seems to pop up. I've definitely taken a very big pay cut, but I'm happier. You're achieving things that you wouldn't normally achieve working for an agency, but yeah, hopefully the pay will get larger. You don't know, yeah.
So I'm Shane Burrell and I work for Final Post. It's a post-production facility for film, television. Final Post in Newcastle is very much a strategic idea and really based on the way that the industry is moving at the moment. So our clients generally come from outside of Newcastle. I would say 95% of our work comes from beyond our region, largely from Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. They generally fall in love with Newcastle. Most of our clients have never been here before. By coming to Newcastle, they escape, they completely immerse themselves in the creative process of finishing their film.
I'm Steph Hines. I'm the numbers ninja at Growthwise. Technically, we are accountants, but that word is changing rapidly. We help small business owners think, learn, grow and kick ass. We came up with that title because it is about helping those small businesses, essentially that's who we work with, really grow into their business in this newfound world that we're living in, and we have certainly a lot of fun with that growth along the way as well.
My name's Kevin Coffey. I'm the Managing Director and Checkout Chick here at Jean Bass. Yeah, company's Jean Bass Proprietary Limited. We've been doing fashion for around about 30 years in Newcastle. It's like a sustainable experiment for us. We're reacting to the abundance of clothing that's out there. When we first came to town, Jean and I both came up from Sydney basically and opened a small atelier or design studio in King Street. At that point, people laughed and then they stopped and then they came in and engaged with what we did. But there was still quite a culture of going to Sydney to purchase your fashion. I suppose the saying would have been back then, well, if you're that good, what are you doing in Newcastle? Newcastle's a little bit of a double-edged sword. The locals are the ones that can't get their head around what we do. The visitors are fine with it. The visitors from Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, overseas push that door open, walk in and engage with the product, and they don't even know who we are. They can just see the product and they know it's good. Here on the other hand, the constant chant of, oh, where would you wear that in Newcastle? You would imagine people in Newcastle never left Jesmond Roundabout.
I see Newcastle completely changing. And I think we've seen the start of that in the last 4 to 5 years.
People can still perceive Newcastle as being a battler city, But I think we're a lot more than that. We're definitely moving forward constantly. Week by week there's new changes, month by month there's even more changes, and yearly it's incredible scope of changes. So we're not actually battling, we're achieving, we're getting things done.
I think that the major change, which is right at a tipping point now, is about self-esteem for the city, for the town, for who they are.
I think Newcastle in itself is just starting to find its identity. Like the town has recovered really well from the BHP closure and all that sort of stuff, and it's always kind of kept its head above water, but still never quite put its finger on who it was.
Newcastle has a brilliant old town country feel, meaning you get to have a chat with everyone at the coffee shop or at the pub, yet we've got all of the facilities that you actually see, or most of the facilities that you see in big business as well.
Newcastle's strategically placed, even geographically, and with our infrastructure and the airport, it's really cheap and easy for people to access Newcastle.
So Newcastle, however, on the other hand, has reasonably low overheads. So I may have picked this shop up and transported to, say, Crown Street in Sydney to another Eat Street, and I would pay 4 times the rent. To do that, I would need to employ more people to generate more product, and if there's a slip, you fall real hard. Here, we have the ability to go into hibernation because I can run the outlet and give the feedback to the design team, and that design team at times can be just Gene.
Each week is completely different, so it just really keeps me refreshed, keeps me happy, and keeps me creative.
I think creatives really need to pick a space where there's lifestyle benefits too, because it's a pretty crazy game, as you know. Someone says to you, "Can you generate this idea for me? I've got this idea, can you produce it for me?" This is no 9-to-5 gig. This is a 24/7 gig. You are thinking about this while you're asleep to do it properly. And there's no time frames to things. There's no hourly rate in the creative industry. It's just the way it is. So you need a nice lifestyle around you for when you stop, you know.
Challenges I've faced in Newcastle? Yep.
We can talk about it till the cows come home, and we can talk about how the creative industries are wonderful at generating things, but at the moment they're a disparate group of freelancers trying to eke out an existence. That's what they are.
You know, there's definitely some people out there a little bit negative and poo-poo your ideas, or kind of go, "Oh, that will never work." But I kind of don't see that as a challenge. I think, that's fine for people to have those ideas. But
I suppose in summary, what I'd say about the creative industries is that it hurts sometimes. Being in the creative industries, it really hurts.
It's competitive, but that's kind of a good thing. I feel that this city being competitive makes you more motivated. And strangely enough, you meet that competition, and then within a week or so, you're friends with that competition. You know what I mean? Everyone seems to work together. At least all like the young, passionate creatives around town, and new startups and all that are really starting to appreciate everyone else's work and would rather work with them than compete against them. I just find that quite nice.
Collaboration is something that, until you've been involved in it, you don't really understand its power.
My company harnesses collaboration. So I am a one-man show, but I work with so many young creatives to produce the right product for the right client. So using a particular photographer for a certain project, or a particular illustrator or typographer that can help me out in a certain job, we'll just get a better product out there.
And it is such a brilliant thing for Newcastle, certainly. It's very easy for us to collaborate. We've got lots of co-working spaces that are popping up, little hubs that are popping up, people that are out of their backyards and out of their home offices and garages and starting to interact and collaborate to get bigger projects off the ground and to do much bigger things than they were limited to just on their own.
Newcastle's a funny little example because it's doing a lot of things now because it has to. It doesn't have a choice. Groups like Renew Newcastle have shown that. They would never have got that off the ground 10 years ago. Not in a million years. But because of the desperate state of events, they said, yeah, do whatever. So good on them, it's fantastic. The next thing is to grow that up to get it to commercial ventures that become self-sustaining.
One of the essential facilities or tools that we can use as an industry within the region is a collaborative workspace. So one of our side projects that I'm working on with my brother is a collaborative workspace called Inks. Many practitioners work from home studios or the spare bedroom or a shared office space that's not particularly purpose-built. To all intents and purposes, that's fine, it can be done. But to take everything up to that next level and have an industry that's a little bit more thriving, they really need to be working in a space that's conducive to what they're doing.
When you've got opportunities like that where you can start at the ground and you can quickly work out if something is happening, you have all of the support that's there, the community as a whole actually knows that's what's happening and you can go and see this. It's just fantastic and it's much easier as a business, as a creative person, to then step your way through, trial what's working, what's not, and keep going.
Newcastle has that foundation of maybe being the underdog and kind of grouping together and kind of getting over some of the small issues that may face us and say, well, let's look at the big goal and let's just band together and make an impact. And I think that's really exciting. That's what makes Newcastle a little bit different.
We just need to support each other to put ourselves on the world stage a little bit more, and literally the world is our oyster.
I know there's so many inspiring young and old creatives here in Newcastle that that are achieving great things. They're slowly getting recognised, but they're working their ass off. They're doing the hard yards. They're doing the hours. They're getting their hands dirty and really putting the effort in to get noticed and get recognition by their peers, by people that they admire. And I just really hope in the future we can get recognised for that as being hard-working creatives that are very passionate.
30 years ago, people laughed or went, if you're that good, why are you in Newcastle, mate? To get to the point where, why not Newcastle? It's a global world, why not Newcastle?